We are finally back with Group A on The Masked Singer Season 10. I had forgotten, really, about these people. It's been so long. But two will be unmasked, and only one then will move on to the finals, unless the judges ring the ding-dong keep it on bell. There's a lot going on. Let's talk The Masked Singer. Hey guys, Dan here. This is Dan Reviews It, and welcome to my Masked Singer recap and reaction video. We've got Group A back again, the Smore, the Cow, and the Gazelle all singing. And it is the first time that we've seen these guys in almost 2 months. We had several weeks with Group B, several weeks with Group C, and then in there were also 2 weeks where the show was not on. One was for baseball finals. Last week was the night before Thanksgiving, so I guess they ran some sort of other programming. So I had actually forgotten who was even in Group A, but we've got them back, and two of them will be going home. So before I launch into the specifics for this episode and who I think is under these masks, let me welcome you into Dan Reviews It. Thank you for finding this video. We do Masked Singer recaps every single week that there is a new Masked Singer. We've been doing it for many, many years now here on the channel. Please consider subscribing and comment below, too. All that, of course, does help me figure out which way I'm leaning on these clues. You guys are very good at unpacking the clues, whether that's from Wikipedia research or from your own mind or, watching other videos. But I kind of go from the hip, and I think none of these guesses that I'm going to make tonight are my original initial guess for each act. So we will get into that. All right, so the Smore went first, and he is actually the first one unmasked. So I'm going to, recap the clues there, and then the judges' guesses, and then we'll go to the unmasking. And then the Cow and the Gazelle move into the sing-off, the Battle Royale, and then one of them will be going home, unless they've brought back the Ding Dong Keep It On bell. They had this last season, and we hadn't heard about it this season yet, but they have brought it out now for these battle royales with each group. However, the judges can only use it one time for the whole season. So it may be tonight, it may be for Group B, or it may be for Group C. I don't know. But yeah, I paused it where the Smore gets unmasked. So the Cow and Gazelle are going to do the battle royale. I don't know even what song they're singing. I don't know who's going home. So we'll get to that in a second. But let's talk about the Smore. So he says, unlike any other experience I've had as a performer, this is nothing like. I've been up till 2 or 3 a.m. practicing choreography. We see a dumbbell, a 10-pound dumbbell, and an exercise bike at that point. He says, it's like I'm back in boy band camp. We see gator boots, and then he says, before I got here, returning to the stage was scary, but the panel has really embraced me and made me feel welcome. Okay, so then he sings, that's the way I like it. I should say it's disco night. I forgot to mention that part because it's of course the Group A finale, but it is disco night. So the whole show actually started with the Tramps singing Disco Inferno. I didn't realize they were even still performing, but they did a great job. I've actually seen a couple of disco bands recently. I saw Casey and the Sunshine Band a few years ago. They opened for the B-52s, and then earlier this year I saw Chic opening for Duran Duran, which I had actually seen Chic a couple of times earlier. They opened for Cher once. But anyway, so, look, listen, disco is alive and well, maybe not in new music, but certainly everyone loves the old disco tunes. I know there was a big backlash in the 80s on disco, but, in the late 90s, we had those pure disco albums with, all the hits on it, which I bought. I loved them, and, I was too young for disco, so for me, that was like, this is not like it was new music. I had heard a lot of it, but yeah, I love a good disco, so we love disco night. All right, so and then after everyone sings, we see a connection clue, and this one was a key, and he said, I've been inside Robin's house, so it's a connection to one of the panelists. I've been inside Robin's house. He says he's got good taste in music and home decor. All right, and then the panel made their guesses, but they made the same guesses at the end here with the take it off. So we'll just go right there to their closing guesses for this more. Robin thinks it is Kevin Richardson of the Backstreet Boys. He thinks the 10-pound dumbbell is for 10 albums by the Backstreet Boys. Kevin Richardson has been in his house. And that was his initial guess. He's been on Kevin Richardson since the beginning. And I was on that the first week as well. That's the one I keep kind of going back to. I think if I remember correctly, you guys did convince me to switch to another person on my last video for Group A. Which is Jenny's guess. We'll get to that in a second. Next, Ken went, and he said it was another Backstreet Boy, AJ McLean, perhaps. But Jenny thinks it could be Ashley Parker Angel. There was an angel on top of a Christmas tree in an earlier clue package. I'm not really sure what some of, the dumbbell and the exercise bike. I'm not familiar enough with O-Town's music. He did have a bit of a solo career, but he came from O-Town, which I think was, if I'm remembering right, is that a manufactured band from MTV, was making the band the show, and then O-Town is what came out of that? It's been well over 20 years, so maybe my memory is faulty, but I think that is correct. But either way, O-Town was the band, and then Ashley Parker Angel had like a little bit of a solo career after that. I think he acted in a show on MTV as well. But anyway, Nicole went with New Kids on the Block, thinking it could be Jordan Knight. And the Smore did say something after his connection clue. He said something about, Jenny, don't tell, Donnie, but you're my favorite, or something like that. So, Donnie Wahlberg, her husband, is in New Kids on the Block. So, that could be an indicator that this is a new kid. But I am between Kevin Richardson and Ashley Parker Angel. But I do think the voice is a little higher register than Kevin's. So I'm going to stick with Ashley Parker Angel, which is not my initial guess, but I've guessed it the last time Group A performed. You guys got me on that Ashley Parker Angel train, and I do think that is a good one. So let's go to the Take It Off, and let's see if this is indeed Ashley Parker Angel from O-Town. I don't know if I'd recognize him these days. I haven't seen him in a long time. Is that who it is? Yes, Jenny got it right. It's Ashley Parker Angel. Okay, he said Broadway star. Okay, there was that Broadway clue in the beginning. Man, they're showing shirtless pictures of him from 20 years ago. Beautiful. All right, Jenny does have that golden ear. I had
How does it feel to be
hold on.
A little toasty, but amazing.
Oh, now he's doing bits.
Masked Singer is unlike any other show on planet Earth. Such an incredible experience as a performer, seriously. Man, you did an awesome job.
All right, well, they're just talking about nonsense. All right, so yeah, I guess some of those clues I still don't quite know, but I don't know a lot about Ashley Parker Angel. I barely remember his career at all. Liquid Dreams, I think, is the only... Oh, no. Wait, there was a ballad that O-Town did. Was that Nothing at All? Was that them? All right, so anyway. So there you go. Smore is done. So next we're going to go to the Cow and the Gazelle. But before I even get there, I'm going to watch the Battle Royale and see who actually gets sent home so we can deal with that. My guess from these two, I mean, unless they ring the Ding Dong Keep It On bell, boy, I mean, they both gave great performances. I'm going to say the Cow is going to move forward. If only one of them moves forward, I think it's going to be the Cow. So let's see. Well, I was right that the Cow won the Battle Royale. However, they did ring the Ding Dong Keep It On bell, so nobody is going home. And I thought that was going to be the case. They tricked me last time, and they went to the Take It Off, and I was like, okay, they're going to take it off. And then as I was with you guys on the video, they rang the Ding Dong Keep It On bell, and I'm like, well, that was anticlimactic. So this time I fast forwarded at least to where they did the Take It Off, and watched to see if they did the bell, and they did. So the Cow and Gazelle are both returning. So I don't even have the panel's final guesses for the Gazelle, because it doesn't really matter, because they all guessed in the initial run. So anyway, the song they sang was I Will Survive. First, though, they had Popcorn from season 4, Taylor Dane, come out and sing I Will Survive. And my God, love some Taylor Dane. She has had a lot of work done, God bless her, but she sings wonderfully. Her voice is amazing. I saw her live a while ago now, probably 7 or 8 years ago. But she sang great. And then they had her and Ashley Parker Angel and the Tramps in the Masked Singer lounge over like by the side of the audience, and it was just interesting to see, these three acts whose fame was very brief, all three of them, but a decade apart because the Tramps, of course, was mid to late 70s. Taylor Dane was late to very early 90s, and then of course early 2000s was Ashley Parker Angel. So I just imagine like what are they saying over there in the commercial breaks? But all right, so the Cow sang second, and like I said, technically the Cow won the battle royale, but since we're not sending anybody home, doesn't much matter. We will see both the Cow and Gazelle again. But the Cow said, "My mom is my foundation. She keeps me going." I remember her having like 7 jobs growing up. She would come home long enough to eat a sandwich and then go to another job. I can relate. I have had as many as 5 jobs at one time in my life. We see a red traffic light at that point. He said, "The day I was able to support my mom with my music was the day I really felt like I made it." We saw football at that point. And then I wrote down as well that the traffic light now had red, yellow, and green to it. At first, we just saw it as a red light. The song he sang was "Ring My Bell" by Anita Ward, great tune. And then his connection was with Jenny. He says, "I've spent time with Jenny's husband." So that's Donnie Wahlberg, of course, like I already mentioned. So the guesses from the panel there included Nelly, Neo, and Usher. Ken's guess was Usher. He pointed out that he worked with the New Kids on something or other. And then Neo was on one of the recent New Kids albums, like one of their comeback albums from a couple of years ago. Neo did a track with them. She also pointed out Nelly, but she didn't have a New Kids connection with Nelly. So I forget, who did I say first was this? I've gone towards Neo afterwards. Oh, I think I said Leslie Odom Jr. What a horrible guess. One of these seasons, Leslie Odom Jr. is going to be on this show, and I'm not going to get it, probably. I guess him just about every season because Nicole does. But yeah, so Neo has been the guest for a while. You guys have all said it in the comments. There are a few sticking points on the Neo stuff. The Capitol Records clue, I still don't understand. Because he says that my picture is hanging up in Capitol Records. But I've gone through their entire roster. There's not only is Neo not on there, but none of these people are on there. There's not a lot of R&B singers on Capitol Records. So I that one is a thinker. I don't know about that one. And then the football clue today doesn't really speak to me. But vocally, I get it. This sounds like Neo. Robin is like 100% on that. It's interesting because not Ken, Nick Cannon is 100% against Neo. He's like, this is not Neo's sound. I know that it's not, but I don't know. I think it is Neo. We've had a lot of clues, that lead us in that direction. And I think we've got another one tonight. Like I said, I don't know the football, but The Red Light, one of his big albums, was simply called Red. So obviously and he was in the movie Red Tails. So we've got a couple of red clues there for him. I don't know much about his family life. Is his mother still alive? I don't even know. But, to me, this is Neo. So I'm going to stick with that guess, and we will see him in the finals, I guess. All right, and then Gazelle, she said, "Growing up, I was truly a hammy, performative kid. I had a different costume on every night and performed a show for my family." We see at that point an envelope that says "a letter to ... with the 3 guys from the show, Nick, Robin, and Ken, with hearts around their faces. And then she says, "My parents were athletes. My sister was in academics, so I was sort of the black sheep of the family." We see a magnifying glass at that point going over the word mystery. So perhaps she was in a mystery film or something. And then she sings "On the Radio" by Donna Summer, which, look, it was a good performance. That's not my favorite disco track. It's not very upbeat. It's more of a ballad, and that can work very well on this stage. When I think disco night, I think of the more upbeat numbers. And obviously there's a lot of Donna Summer numbers that are more upbeat, but I guess she wanted to show off her vocal range, and it worked because they kept her on with the ding dong bell. Her connection was for Nicole. and it said Island Girl. It was like a little not a diorama, but just a little scale model or whatever of an island, and she says, like Nicole, I hold the islands close to my heart. So Nicole now is thinking of Hawaiian acts. She said perhaps Ali Cravalho from Moana or Vanessa Hudgens, another Disney gal. But she pointed out neither of those women are married, and we had a clue in one of the earlier episodes about her wedding day. So she's sort of lost on that. Maggie Q came to Robin's mind, and then Ken, who has mentioned this before, his friend Constance Wu from Fresh Off the Boat, and she acted with Ken in Crazy Rich Asians. So he thinks it's her. I don't think that this gal is that seasoned or aged or old. I believe it is somebody younger than either Maggie Q or Constance. But you guys have led me down this Janelle Parrish train, which I've never even heard of this person before you guys started talking about her in the comments. But it seems pretty obvious from all the clue packages we've gotten that it is her. I don't even know who I said for the first week. I don't think it was any of the people that the panel mentioned. Oh, I think I think I mentioned what's her name? Idina Menzel. I think that's who I thought it was for the Gazelle. But no, it's and even that's somebody that's probably too old for the Gazelle. The sound of her voice is definitely more youthful, I think, than some of these people. But is it Janelle or Janelle? Janelle Parrish, let's say. I think makes sense for this, for all the clues. Once you guys told me who she was, I sort of looked into her a little bit, and the clues really do match up, especially that wedding day clue that she did a couple of episodes ago. So that's it. I mean, we don't have any more unmaskings, but I do believe it is going to be Neo under the cow and Janelle Parrish under the Gazelle. But we will see them in, I guess, 3 weeks. Next week will be the Group B finals. But the Ding Dong Keep It On belt is over now. They could only use that once this whole season. So we will get 2 unmaskings for sure next week, and then 2 unmaskings for sure on Group C the following week, and then we will have the 2-hour bloated finale. They always just drag it out. They bring people from the past in, whatever. So all right, but that will be in a couple of weeks, and then that'll be it until 2024, when I assume we will get season 11. I don't believe there's been an official announcement yet, but look, it's a cash cow for Fox, so I'm sure we're going to keep it going through another few cycles at least. So all right, well, that will do it for now. Join me next week for my next reaction video. Check out my other videos on the channel too, though. I do movie and TV reviews just about every day. I put something new on the channel, so it's not just Masked Singer content, but feel free to check out all my other stuff as well. All right, we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.